In this video, I'm going to explain how to teach your dog to feel comfortable while being groomed. Most dogs would feel some discomfort or even fear when being groomed without previously being conditioned or being introduced gently to grooming equipment or generally grooming procedures. It's a bit easier with puppies when they first start being groomed because they don't have this negative association with the grooming equipment when, for example, dogs are a bit older and they already learn and they have this negative emotion attached to the grooming. So if your dog is already fearful of the grooming procedure or grooming equipment, the most useful thing we can do first is to change the events that precede the grooming itself. So, for example, we can change the room that we groom our dogs in to another room or go to the garden. We can take the grooming equipment out of the cupboard a day before the grooming procedure or hours before and let it somewhere at a distance, sit on the table so your dog is not spooked that if you took the grooming equipment from the cupboard and immediately after proceed to your dog to groom him or her, because that is very likely to scare your dog away and even create a more negative association with grooming. So to help our dog to relax, we can set up the room like specifically for the grooming session, like pampering for humans. We can put on some quiet, relaxing classical music. If a dog is particularly anxious or fearful, we can plug in calming pheromones into the socket and then let it settle in the room, so that may calm our dogs. When I started grooming my Max when he was a puppy, obviously it took me a few weeks to let him used to being touched. So I never went and groomed him, but we used to first gently touch his paws and his ears, and then we continued within weeks to starting gently massaging him, so he was used to human touch and being relaxed when being touched, and then actually enjoying the procedure. And then when he knows the human touch is safe and gentle and comfortable, we started introducing the grooming equipment very slowly, whilst obviously rewarding Max. Another factor that can help us in grooming our dogs is teaching them compatible behaviors. So, for example, teaching them stand cue, which can help in grooming, or hand targeting, for example, or paw. So they're familiar with specific movements, and also make sure that your dog is comfortable while being groomed temperature wise, so it's not too hot, it's not too cold, doesn't need to go out for the toilet. Some dogs perhaps prefer it in the evening when they're more relaxed. Some dogs would be probably not happy to do it in the evening, but daytime or morning time. Obviously, you know your dog best. So some common equipment that people generally use when grooming their dogs are brushes, okay, or nail clippers or Dremels. I prefer nail clippers because they don't make any sound, they don't vibrate, so I believe dogs can tolerate these a bit better. And also, obviously, most people would brush their dog's teeth, so I quite like this ultrasonic, no vibration, no sound toothbrush, and we have toothpaste together with it. So when you introduce grooming equipment to your puppy, or if you want to undo any negative emotions attached to the grooming equipment, you need to break steps into small approximations, and each time mark and reward your dog for not reacting or being calm around this equipment. So I'm going to quickly demonstrate with Max, who is already comfortable around grooming equipment. Okay, so I will demonstrate now introduction of a brush to Max for our grooming procedure. Obviously the brush was on the table for a few hours, so Max is familiar with it. You can do it over the period of a few weeks, so let your dog slowly and gently get used to the brush. So I will reward, yes, mark and reward Max for just not reacting, to being calm around it. Obviously, this will be much quicker, but you can break that into weeks, not to, push your dogs too fast and too hard, especially if they already have negative emotions around the brush. Yes. Okay, and this can be done much, much slower. You can just move it. Yes. Yes. During the procedure, you can leave like a Kong. When your dog is obviously already used to the equipment, you can put the Kong on the floor, or you can, yes, leave a licking mat for a dog to additionally relax while being groomed. That can help as well. So each time we do a little bit more. Yes. Also, everything is very slow and very gentle. There's no fast movement, no pulling, no tugging. Yes. Good boy. We made it nice and relaxing. So you can just do that for the first grooming. You don't have to brush your dog thoroughly. You can just do a few strokes. Next time you can add a bit more. Same with nails. When you clip nails, you can just clip one nail and then another time two nails and just slowly build with it. Obviously, again, remember to reward uh, your dog for not reacting and make it very slow, very pleasant for your dog.